Good evening. And if you're just tuning in, you are listening live to the Angel Rock. I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin, and you are listening to UFO Paranormal Radio Network, or otherwise known as United Public Radio Network, or just UPRN on out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana, on 105.3 and 107.7. And as I said, I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin. I am a Canadian clairvoyant medium, a crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher and mentor, and registered nurse. And I'm also extremely well versed in the paranormal, having shared our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor, Season 4, Episode 9. What is it called again? I gotta think for a sec. Demonic Hauntings. And that was in our previous story. I'm trying to fix my hair here. It's gone crazy. We've got summer has returned here for spooky season, if you can believe it. Like I said, I'm in Canada. I am in a city called Thunder Bay, which is about 40 minutes away from the US-Canada border in Ontario. Hi, Sandra Sharp. And I'm about 6.5 hours north of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Holy cow, I got crazy hair here, guys. Sorry. Hi, Vicki Vermooch. Welcome. Yeah, so a few little housekeeping things. First of all, I also co-host another show here on UFO Paranormal Radio Network with my very good friend who is extremely talented in the way of mediumship and angel channel. He's also a spiritual teacher and mentor too, and that is David Hansel, and that's the thing at the foot of the bed, or as it's sometimes been nicknamed, the thong at the end of the bed. We got into spooky talk about Friday the 13th. You'll have to watch back and you'll see that it's a few months ago. And that's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here, live on United Public Radio Network. Now, if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and family. This network has been around for 25 plus years. We have all kinds of live hosts every single day. There's multiple shows 7 days a week, and there's something for everybody there. And then when we're not streaming live, the archive server kicks in. So we are a 24, not 25. Sometimes I wish we had more than 24 hours in a day, 24-hour live streaming channel and network. So if you are listening and you want to join in the conversation, please head over to either UFO Paranormal Radio, either on Facebook and YouTube. I'm also streaming on my YouTube channel, which is The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. I am streaming to my own Facebook profile, Lorilei Potvin on Facebook, which is public. And I believe I'm streaming in one of my two groups I have, Paranormal University. We're streaming on Canada's Most Haunted. I believe UFO Undercover, which is the owner of the network's multiple different channels, and he doesn't have multiple channels, but he has profiles. But that's a show Joe Montaldo does on Wednesday nights here, and it's called UFO Undercover. And I want to give a shout out to Joe Montaldo. He is the reason why we have this incredible space that, like I said, we have multiple live hosts from all around the world, and we're always adding new shows. And he created this. So thank you, Joe, for this wonderful space that brings people together. What else do I want to tell you guys? Okay, so we're using StreamYard. If you've never been to StreamYard before, you have a couple options. First of all, you can go to facebook.com. Hang on, let me go black here. It's driving me crazy because I got Facebook loaded and I've got people sending me a ton of messages here. So give me a sec, guys. I'm still here as I'm talking to you because it's driving me insane. People are messaging me nonstop. Hang on. Yeah, there it goes again. I'm going to go into hopefully Messenger and we won't have that problem. There we are. I'm back. Sorry. That's a new thing with StreamYard. It never used to black out your camera, but it does when you pop onto another page quickly because I got some videos to share with you. Anyways, so if you want to watch it, that's how I'll be able to see your comments if you head in over to any of those spaces. And yeah, because as you well know, with my shows, I love to involve the audience. I only have guests on the Angel Rock. David and I just strictly co-host, or as Joe calls it, instead of the thing at the foot of the bed, he calls it the foot on Thursday nights. So that way we can see your comments. We are planning I believe David and I think it's Thursday, October 26th, a Halloween party live online here on the thing at the foot of the bed. If you got some ideas, you got some stories, some pictures, some evidence, anything y'all want to do, we may create a panel depending on who we can get to come. And then on October 30th with the Angel Rock, I am also planning a live party with the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. This is the spooky season. It has officially arrived October 1st. We are going to be partying it up towards the end of the month. Also, we had a staff meeting. Yes, we do have staff meetings every couple months here for the network to keep things running smoothly. And apparently, I am planning a network Halloween party. Actually, I volunteered for the night of Halloween. I'm guessing it may be a little bit later once the kiddies have all gone to people's homes, if they do that, or wherever people go to celebrate the Halloween festivities. I used to plan them on the network. I've been here. It'll be 5 years next year in July. So we've also done some stuff for New Year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hi, Shara Berg, Mallory. Welcome. Nice to see you. Anyways, I was talking about StreamYard and then I got distracted. I promise, not that there's anything wrong with ADHD. I got his spirit in one ear. I'm thinking ahead what I'm going to say. I don't have a script. And then when something's flashing at me, I had to turn it off. Sorry. So StreamYard, you can go to streamyard.com/Facebook and just all you have to do is give them permission to use your picture and your name, because otherwise you will come up if you were on Facebook as Facebook user. If that does happen, I will click on your name and it'll be in the bottom left-hand corner, just so you know. And there have been people that have done this, that have given StreamYard permission to use their picture and name. They still might come up as Facebook user. So you can also just put your name behind it, or you can choose to stay anonymous. Also, do not forget to check out Roku. We now have a TV channel for the network. And how you find that, I asked Joe in the meeting if he could find a channel code for us. So hopefully I'll get that for you. But in the meantime, you're going to sign in to your account. You're going to go to the channel store on Roku. It's very easy to find. You're going to type in UFO space P as in paranormal. Hi, Bart Sharp. I got to give you a shout out in just a sec. You're going to go to the channel store. And like I said, you're going to look up UFO space P as in paranormal. There's going to be a drop down list. And you're looking for UFO space paranormal and United Public Radio. And that's where you can watch. It's kind of cool having a TV show. Now, I got to give Bart Sharp a shout out. Bart, you caught me off guard, so please put the details in the chat. Bart has an amazing show. He is one of my friends and hosts on the network. And I'm trying to remember the name off the top of my head. We've got so many hosts and shows. He's awesome. He's a spiritual teacher. He's got so much knowledge. I know he spends his summers over in France, and it's really exciting what he does. And I hope he's maybe streaming over there when he heads over there next summer. So if all goes as planned. So I just highlighted his comment, Bart Sharp. He says, "Go get him, Tigress," with the purple hair here. So y'all, I figured spooky season. And I was talking about the Halloween party. I'm going to do my utmost best, just so you know, in both of my groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal, and the Angel Rocker Tribe, to have a lot of engagement this month. And I am asking people, like today, what actually did I post in there? What was the name of it? I know what I posted, but I want to give you guys the exact wording. So give me a second. I've got 3 devices here. So now you wonder, like I said, I don't have ADHD. I'm handling a bunch of different things. And I am streaming in Paranormal Universe. I can see myself. So what it says is, what is the most frightening thing that has ever happened to you? And the wording here, if you're listening, maybe on the replay or whatever, I said, please share your stories. And if you'd be okay with me sharing your story on a future podcast this month, meaning the Halloween party. Hi, Lizzie McLeod. I said, please share your story. And then I said, if you're not okay with me sharing it publicly, I completely respect your wishes. And this group, along with our sister group, and I noticed my darn autocorrect made it out. I'll have to correct that after. Our sister group, the Angel Rocker Tribe, will always remain a safe, confidential space to share your experiences, thoughts, questions, and comments. And then I shared some of my paranormal story. But before I get into a little bit about that, and if there's anything y'all want to talk about, I love doing shows like this. I am trying to do this more. Um, when I book guests, I love having guests. We are having Julie Jean Bassett back next Monday, actually, in the Angel Rock. And she is an animal communicator. So if y'all have some animal issues, questions, comments, and that's Animals Earthside, because I've utilized her myself. She's amazing. I had her on a couple weeks ago. We didn't get to touch on everything I wanted to talk to her about, as well as you guys. I didn't give you the heads up. I wanted you to meet her first. You guys didn't get to ask your questions because she also can do pet mediumship and she's training to be a shaman. There's lots to talk about. So she's coming back next Monday. But I love doing shows with all of you because then we get to talk about what you all want to talk about. So I've got a few topics planned, but I'm ready to pivot wherever anybody else is ready to go. It's kind of like the thing at the foot of the bed. Actually, David, we stay in close contact, and I planned to meet up with him last week for a few readings because David and I normally go live. He has a very large TikTok community he's built with almost 100,000 subscribers. So we try to go live there on, I think it's Spiritual Medium David Hansel. And I'm going to ask Sandra Sharp, I'm going to give her a highlight right here, if she wouldn't mind sharing his exact, if you know what it is, Sandra, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but David's TikTok handle, because he lost his main channel, started a backup channel. He finally got, it was being held for ransom, and he finally got it back. So he's got two channels, plus I swear, that poor man, he has probably 60 to 80 people stealing his picture, stealing his name, and posing as him. So it's a little bit difficult to find him. So you can look for us this week. It's usually either Wednesday nights or Thursday afternoons before our show. We try to go live over on TikTok and we'll answer spiritual questions, paranormal questions, and we also like to do free one question readings. Now, both David and I being mediums, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but we usually prefer not to do mediumship live just because it takes a little time to connect to the person we're trying to connect with, as well as it can be quite emotional for the other person that we're reading for. Sometimes there's a lot of personal information that comes through, and but we will. Like sometimes people have loved ones that are like, "Hey, I'm right here. I got a message for so and so," and we will do that. So like I say, that's the beauty in it all, right? When you're live, you got to be pretty easygoing and be able to kind of pivot wherever people want to go, especially with the thing at the foot of the bed, because that's why we started it. We find most of us in this paranormal field, and David does have paranormal experience as well as an investigator, that people have a lot of questions. And we let people know, just I'll let you know on this show too, I'm not an expert. And neither is David, but we both have been around the paranormal and connected to what we collectively call spirit. On the positive side, angels, we all have guides. There's ascended masters, there's elementals, there's a plethora of positive beings that we can connect to that most of us in this field collectively call spirit. And when you've got spirit around you your whole life, and all of us do, by the way, I truly believe that all of us have this ability to connect to the other side, because you can just take a look at small children. Even when I'm helping people, say with a paranormal case, I don't charge to help people with a paranormal case. Excuse me. Having gone through it myself, when people need help, they need help. And I forget where I see. I keep talking here. I got a million things I'm talking about. It'll come back as I keep talking. Thank you, Sandra, so much. I knew you would do that. So David on TikTok is under at medium David Hansel, all one word. And David's last name is spelled H as in Harry, A, N as in Nancy, Z or Z, depending on where you live, as in zebra, E-L as in Leo. So that's the true handle for him. And we usually go live on his TikTok. He has a much larger following than I do. I don't really use TikTok a lot for posting just because being in Canada, and I'm not doing this to make money, but it's nearly impossible to make money on TikTok as a Canadian. They do not allow it. Just like I was trying to share our Paranormal Survivor episode, and I was using Daily Motion, I think, where it's posted. You can see it, it's there for free. And it was blocked because in Canada, new legislation does not allow us to post anything possibly viewed as news. I don't know how being on Paranormal Survivor is viewed as news, but it was blocked. I had to go to YouTube and find a link. Thankfully, they allowed it. And we're not allowed to receive anything that's viewed as news. And it's the same thing with TikTok. We are banned from earning any money on TikTok. So it's just not a place where I tend to promote a lot. So hi, Chris Binder. So we end up going on David's. He's got a larger following. And the reason we go on there, we want y'all to come over to TikTok. We're trying to figure it all out. It's pretty hard to get what's called a streaming key off of TikTok. And Joe has the whole studio set up in his his abode, I'll say, and he runs the studio from there. So because of the software that he uses, and if you know a little bit about tech, you need a streaming key. So we, at the moment, aren't able to get to TikTok. Believe me, David and I have tried to figure it out. Hi, Sean Johnson. You hope everything works out for me, and that's very kind of you. And are you talking about my paranormal experience? I was going to start with this other story, but I'm happy to share some of the stuff I've uploaded. Actually, that's why I have Facebook open to share with you. So, for those of you that aren't familiar, I lived in my previous home for many years. It was my ex husband's parents' home. I do know the history of the home when it was built. I know the history of the land because it was built in 1958. And by the way, I will add Thunder Bay is notorious for every kind of paranormal, cryptid, UFO, alien, any type of thing you could possibly imagine. There's a lot of experiences here that are reported. And Sandra Sharp says, I will begin posting videos on TikTok soon. Awesome, Sandra. Make sure you tag me in them, share them in the groups. I always tell people, share what's going on with you. It's more the merrier, right? So, what happened with my previous experience? I was still married to my first husband, and we moved into that home when my now 28-year-old son was 15 months old. And my 15-month-old son, when he really started to speak, had a lot of issues staying in his bedroom. My ex-husband had a complete personality change. He was always sort of an introvert, but it was almost like he was depressed. He wasn't interacting with anybody. He has a lot of professional designations. He never seemed to be able to move up or make any more. God, I sound like I'm so financially motivated. I promise I'm not. But I mean, it certainly would have helped with the bills because me being a registered nurse had a very unfortunate accident that changed my life in about 10 seconds on the job. I was a community visiting nurse, and I went to this little tiny trailer park owned by our city that I didn't even know existed rurally. And I used the side door and I went in to change the dressing. And I always say it's not my job to judge. This man was very nice, but it looked like a hoarder home. And I was there for about 15 minutes to change the dressing. And I work for something that's well known in Canada. It's one of the oldest community visiting nursing agencies called the Victorian Order of Nurses, or VON. And I asked the gentleman if I could leave via the front door of his trailer because it was closer to where my car was parked. And as I stepped out, and I used to carry a bag. We didn't carry medications, but you pretty well had to have everything because I only went into my office once every 2 weeks. And it was about 40 pounds. And as I stepped out onto the front top step outside, there was a rug and there was a huge hole this gentleman had covered with a rug. And I fell through and shattered all my discs in my back. Now, was he malicious? No. I just think he was very embarrassed with the state of the way he had been living and where he lived and the state of his trailer. And I remember almost crawling back into the house and sharing what had happened. And I said to him, why why would you do that? And I could tell, like I said, it was mostly because of embarrassment. And he said he truly had forgotten. Nobody had used the front door in so long that he had actually covered up the hole. So my life changed there. That happened in the home we lived in. Long story short, I was almost bedridden for 20 years. And I had a second child. That's my youngest, who's now 25 with severe autism. And we had a lot of health issues, a lot of strange, very unusual stuff happening. And I remember, gosh, it was probably about 16 years ago, whenever the movie The Secret came out, when the law of attraction became a big thing. And I'm going to answer Sean's thing. He said, I'm talking about all you do. I appreciate the sharing of your experiences. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate your kind words. Long story short, the movie The Secret came out and the book had been out. And I remember my ex-husband, Earl, and he's very aware. He signed releases, so he's okay with me sharing this story. Um, when I could get up, like I said, we had watched the movie the night before. The next day, I did have to go out and get a few groceries. And everywhere I went, because I still stayed busy and very creative, so I was creating pet accessories and handmade jewelry and teaching myself web language programming. I built my own website. Believe me, it would be a joke in today's standard, but I was still pretty proud of myself. I'd never turned on a computer till about 2002. Didn't know a thing about it. Anyways, I was going around to these little businesses, chit chatting. A lot of them were local. And I was telling people about some of the things I was creating. And all of them offered to carry my merchandise, but they refused to take a commission. I was absolutely astounded. And I remember coming home and telling Earl, my ex husband, about, at that time we were married again, if anybody's just tuning in. And I said, I can't believe this. Like, everybody wants to sell my merchandise, but nobody wants to take a commission. And we were both joking because he said, well, maybe it's the secret. Well, long story short, we went to bed that night and I had a dream that I remember like it happened 10 minutes ago. And this was almost 15, 16 years ago. And there used to be a tree in the front yard of my old home. And I was outside and there was a man sitting in the tree. And I always say I'm not a high maintenance type of person or, in need for material things. And as I started to look up, I could tell this man was wearing a very expensive silk looking type suit, a dark charcoal stripes with white pinstripes. He had a white silk shirt on, black silk tie, and then his hair, for those of you listening, was about back to the just behind his ears. It was all slicked back and about to probably about neck length. And he had a black goatee and mustache, very shortly trimmed, all one piece. And his skin though was like this sickly kind of white. And as my eyes met his eyes, they were pure black. And then they would be switching from black to like almost like real flames while I was talking to him. And he said, hello, Lorilei. He said, well, that little business you've got going right now, he said, that is nothing. He said, I can give you wealth. I can give you fame. I can help you achieve your wildest dreams. All you have to do is agree to follow me. And it's not radio friendly what I told this gentleman to do and where to go. And in no uncertain terms would I ever agree to something like that. And I asked him, who are you? And he then proceeded to tell me he was a demon. He then told me his name and he told me how to spell it. And in the dream, I again told him where to go and to leave immediately. And believe me, it is not radio friendly what I said in that dream. And he started to laugh at me and mockingly wave his finger. Like, if you're watching, just, oh, no, 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 no. Every time you see a crow or a raven, you're going to know who it is. And with this evil little laugh. And I remember calling an Archangel Michael in the dream. And I can't even describe these colors. They were so brilliant. It was like a royal blue, a silver, and this blinding white. And I woke up shaking, crying, in a complete sweat. And that is not me. I'm not an easy crier. And basically, all heck did break loose. It was a crazy dream. I want to also mention we were never looking for the paranormal. It's like it found us. And the only thing I had ever done to even become aware of anything was, and I have a story that if we have time, maybe I'll tell it, but moving on from it, it's basically what a tattoos and angel cards have to do with one another. Not a lot, but that's how I became interested in angel cards because of that experience. And I had actually taken my certified angel card reader course with Doreen Virtue at the time. She's no longer involved and has completely renounced all her work within the spiritual field. She's become very religious. So that I knew about angels, and I had been raised Roman Catholic my entire life. I'd been forced to go to church every Sunday. I went to Roman Catholic school, and the name I had been given, I'd never heard of this name, this supposed demon name. I looked for it. I did some research, and I still couldn't find it. But the creepy thing is, after all heck broke loose in our house, about 5, 6 years after that, people would contact me and ask me, for a little bit of help. And somebody in particular had mentioned a name they had received in a dream, and they were wondering if it was within, if you believe in demons, in was it demonic? And I had told them at that time that's not my field of expertise. It still isn't. I'm more knowledgeable about it, but I certainly don't prefer to work with that type of thing. And I said, let me have a look for you. And I just about fell off my chair because the research, now I don't know if more information had come out with the increasing popularity of the paranormal or what have you. But there on the page was the exact name I'd been given, the exact spelling I had been given, and the animal form I had been given in that dream. So it was crazy. Now, I'm going to read some of your comments here, but I do want to share something. I left myself a note and I got into things here. Um, if all of you, any of you live in New York State, there is an Amber Alert out there right now about a little 9-year-old girl and 1 month by the name of Charlotte. People were saying it's Cena, but it's Cena. It's Cena. And I guess they were in Saratoga Park, or Saratoga, New York. And I think it's called Monroe State Park. And the family and, extended family members and friends had gathered for the weekend, I guess, for a day or two there to have some fun and, cook out and what have you. And Charlotte and two of her very close friends, who she actually referred to as cousins, I guess there's a loop in the park, and they were driving around the park in their bike, and I guess it was almost supper time. It was about quarter after 6, 20 after 6, and the two other little girls decided to go back, and Charlotte, as the story was told, decided that she wanted to go and be a big girl and do one more loop herself. And 15 minutes later, she hadn't returned, and her parents went out on a massive search. The whole campground stopped everything. They were talking about leaving their food, their cookouts, everything like that, and looking for this little one. And the police were called in like less than half an hour with this little girl being gone. They did find her bike, and this little girl has disappeared without a trace. So the FBI are involved. This is making international news. And if you want more details, or if you see anything, or you're a little bit intrigued, wondering what's going on here, please check out Grizzly True Crime. Those of you that follow the show know I also follow true crime. And Gisela K, she's from South Africa, and she's in the Netherlands. And I absolutely adore her channel, and another one I'm going to mention, because she sticks to the facts. She also is very family centered and victim centered. There is no drama. There is no bullying. Nothing like that is tolerated. And it's a beautiful space. So please check out. This woman, the amount of work this woman does. Like if she does the live, she goes back and she does bullet points for you, or timestamps throughout the video. So if there's just a certain part of information you want to see, she's incredible. Another phenomenal channel that I absolutely love is called Surviving the Survivor. Um, it's run by Joel Waldman. He used to be a news reporter with some of the bigger legacy media places, and he's now gone out on his own. And what it's basically, the YouTube channel is called Surviving the Survivor, and then it's got a colon and hashtag best guests in true crime. And you would not believe some of the guests that he gets on there. And Sunday nights, he does a show with his mother, Carm, who I believe just turned 84. She's a social worker, smart as a whip. And he's even covered some ufology and UFO stuff like that because he's interested in that. So he kind of deviates from the true crime. His wife runs all the stuff behind the scenes. He calls her the COE. What does he call her? COE, not controller, but basically she runs everything. It's a very respectful nickname. His brother-in-law, his wife's brother, runs all of the technical stuff. And again, very victim-centered, no bullying, nothing but facts provided. And I love, because he does panels, and if he's got a topic he's covering or a case that he's talking about, he presents both sides. You've got great mods, great people there. We've had one of the people I've met from that group and from Grizzly True Crime, Dem Rogers, was here last week. So please check it out. Like I say, just really great group of people. I find a lot of people actually in the paranormal seem to be very interested in true crime. So I've been actually revisiting the Chris Watts case and looking at his interviews, and I'm actually really surprised by some of the stuff that when they've interviewed him after the fact, and he's been in jail. Well, he is in jail, but I mean, kind of a different perspective than what's been presented. But the reason why I mention this case, you're into the paranormal, you have to check out the body cam footage from the police from the moment they arrived at that home, and the EVPs that are very clearly heard, little ones being caught on camera. It's an insane case of the paranormal, just absolutely insane. Now let me go back here finally to get to your comments. I left myself a note because I wanted to mention this. Also, we've been asked to do this, so I want to remind you all that we are on Roku under UFO Space Paranormal in United Public Radio. A lot of the shows are being run on that channel. I actually put the newer show on our Roku channel. So that is the Thursday night show with the thing at the foot of the bed with my very good friend David Hansel. And I might as well throw in there too. You are listening, if you're just tuning in, to the Angel Rock, and I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin, and it's live. And it's on 105.3 and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans. That's what I kept thinking there's something I'm forgetting. I get a lot of people, and Facebook is very confusing as of late. What they end up doing is marking that I'm live, and not just me, anybody that's gone live. It looks like somebody's live when they're not, and the show's already streamed live. Excuse me. So if you just catch the tail end of a show, or you realize like, hey, is this live? Isn't it? The main thing is, because I get a lot of people messaging me, oh no, I forgot the show. No, or, forgot about the show. I missed it. You'll never miss a show. There is always a video file, whether it's on my Facebook profile, UFO Paranormal Radio Facebook page, our YouTube channel. We actually have two. We have a backup channel. The second one's called UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials. On my YouTube channel, I also have a Rumble and Odyssey account where my shows are backed up. And then all of the archives of every single show that's ever been done on the network is always carried on anywhere where podcasts and talk radio are carried. So whether that might be StreamYard, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Podbean, SoundCloud, and that's just to name a few. Even the most obscure apps actually carry our shows. So there's lots to listen to and check out. We've had a lot of great hosts on here, a lot of syndicated shows that have their shows on the network. You name it. So check it out. Anyways, I said I was going to get to your comments here. So hang on. Let me see. Am I missing anything? No, I said hi to everybody. And again, Sandra post. Oh, Sandra, thank you. I did not see that. Good thing I went back. So Sandra, who is a regular supporter of this show, and the thing at the foot of the bed. And many of you that watch our shows also watch many of the other shows on the network too. So Sandra had said earlier that she's going to start streaming more regularly on TikTok. And I had asked her to share my co-host's TikTok handle if you're just tuning in, and she did below, but she also shared hers. So please check her out because it's under the @ symbol, Sandra Sharp 720. So Sandra is S as in Sam, A N as in Nancy, D as in Daniel, R as in Richard, A S as in Sam, H as in Harold, A R as in Richard, P as in Peter, 720, all one word. And again, thank you, Sean. Sean had said, I hope everything works out for you. And then what he was talking about, he said, I'm talking about, hang on, I'm going to highlight that. I know I already said it, but we're going to go right from the beginning. He said, I'm talking about all you do. I appreciate the sharing of your experiences. And again, thank you so much. I appreciate you and everybody here, because I always say, if y'all weren't here, I'd just be talking to my sweet little dog. Well, not little, big girl, big dog at the bottom of the bed. So I'm so grateful you're here. And then Sean shared, I can relate. I was in a bad car accident at 14. I lost my right leg and many other issues that came from my accident. I'm so sorry for your accident, Sean. Car accidents are no joke, and life can change in a second, as you shared here. And what I was sharing about my own, I was going to be a doctor. My plans were to go to medical school, and that changed. But when we look back sometimes, like I look back now and I know why things happened the way they did. I didn't know I was going to have a son, second son with severe autism. And even though I always say I'm not making what I'd be making as a nurse, at least I had a regular paycheck coming in, a small pension that allowed me to be at home with him because I needed to be at home with him. So then he shared, Sean, excuse me, I had a near death experience when my accident happened back in May of 2000, and it changed everything. And I can definitely concur with that, Sean. I have studied near death experiences professionally as a registered nurse as well as personally because I believe I have had one as a toddler, and my co-host David had one about very profound experience about 6 or 7 years ago. It's been very life-changing for him as well, and this was obviously as when he was an adult. So Sean also says you will follow them, and you just followed my YouTube. Well, thank you very much. I will tell you guys, so the shows are under the live tab. Some of my very early shows on the network, I've been here for quite a while, are under the video tab. But if you scroll to the very bottom, I have quite a few teaching videos there, including how to create a love shield, how to ground and grid yourself, why gratitude is so important, the healing power of music. There's one or two of those videos. I forget what one. I think I walk you through. I didn't plan it. I just kind of went with what Spirit gave me. And I walk you through a guided meditation. There's some teaching videos about what energy and feels like, what certain colors feel like. And there's no right or wrong answer. They're just kind of teaching videos. It's from a group that David and I actually met in quite a few years ago that we always joke that it's like Voldemort. It shall remain nameless. Hello, Kelly Hopkins. I'm just going through the comments. I'm going to get to you in just a sec. Oh, I didn't even see. Good thing I went back, y'all. We got Ice Loco 25J. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much. And thank you for being here. And Sean says, I was going to be a boxer. I hear you. So now I'm at Kelly's comment. So, oh, it's Sean. I thought it might be you that you switched channels. So Sean Johnson is now switched to YouTube. So he's under Ice Loco 25J. So Kelly Hopkins, who is a friend of mine, you want to check out her bracelets. Go ahead, Kelly. Go ahead. Put them in the comments because I don't want to put the wrong name. I think it's Rainbow Beatery, but she makes beautiful crystal bracelets. And her wonderful husband, both of them are amazing. They're fellow Canadians too. They do a lot of ITC, which is intertrans communication with ghost boxes and the paranormal and what have you. So her husband's name is Steve-O Hopkins, so check him out. So Kelly says, hi, Lorilei, sending you so much love and hugs. I hope you are well. I am well, and I hope you're well too, and everybody else out there. So thank you. So like I said, Sean said, it's me, Sean. I'll definitely look into your videos. Well, thank you. And then Kelly put the name. So I did get it right, Kelly, except I missed the Kelly. So Kelly's company is called Kelly's Rainbow Beatery, and she makes beautiful handmade bracelets with various different types of crystals. So there you have it. So I thought what I would do tonight, I don't think I've ever done this before. And I thought, I'm going to jump into, I'm going to jump in. Sorry, I'm still here. Okay. Cause it makes me go black as I'm looking at something. Sorry, my son sent me something. So I'll have to get a hold of him after the show. So sometimes when you add people, they message you right away and then go through your whole friends list. And that looks like this person's doing that. So I'm just getting into what I decided tonight. And some of you will recognize this person. I had a very good friend. I should come back to here so you guys can see me. I had a very good friend that still runs an amazing paranormal show every Sunday night from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern, or 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Central. And it's called Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. And the host is Jason Bland. And he is incredible. He gets incredible guests. He's got a great show, great audience. He streams on Facebook and YouTube. And check it out if you're into the paranormal. He has won multiple years in a row, top 50 in the top podcasts. Like, I mean, with Rush Limbaugh at the top kind of list, top 50. So check him out. Anyways, I used to call into his show when the activity first started in my house every single Sunday. There are videos probably way back in the day on his own YouTube channel. I think it's under Jason Bland. And I used to be on Skype, and I used to call in from the most active part of my home. And yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on in the background. So Kelly says about Kelly's Rainbow Beatery, got a whole bunch more in, meaning in the way of crystal beads. She really does make some beautiful pieces. I've made jewelry. I do resin work, and I'm desperately working on stuff besides stuff for decorating for the spooky season for Halloween and Christmas. And if you're not sure what resin is, it's a big trend. When I started it years ago, I used to get looked at like I had 10 heads when I asked about resin supplies. They usually had to order out of Singapore, Thailand, China. Now everybody's doing it, but I'm working on some pieces. I want to get these out for sale. My house is getting overflowing here. And I never planned on that. I planned on selling the pieces. So, and we've got James. I hope I say this right, James. Kjorlian, I think it is. He says, good evening. So hang on here. So what I thought I might do, I'm going to play this clip. We'll stop it in between, talk a little bit about it. But what it is, it's when I called in, it was 2017, from the most active part of my home. And it was, hang on, I'm just trying to get it ready as I'm talking. Give me a sec so I can think while I'm doing things. Sorry, it pops me over to the other video. Anyways, it's from the most active part of my home. This was unplanned. It was live. And this is the most class AAA plus EVP I think I've ever heard. I won't play both of them, but this one's quite quite astounding. And Jason just used to have a 2-hour show, and he was doing his annual Halloween show at this time. I'd completely forgotten. And this is the time when I used to call in every Sunday night and watch with everybody and, listen to the guests and what have you. I actually was watching the memorial concert for Chester Bennington for Lincoln Park, and it ended at 5 minutes to 1 my time. And I went, oh crap, I forgot Paranormal Soup. And so I decided just to call in and say hi. Well, when I called in, I guess Jason was on a network at that time, and he ended up getting permission to go an extra half hour or longer. So I was the last caller in. So you're going to see people in Halloween costumes. You're going to see all kinds of stuff. Okay. I also have another crazy EVP session. Jason and I happened to be on the same network at that time in 2018. We were participating in 84 hours straight of paranormal radio live on our previous network, and it was called the Spookathon. And I was actually on quite a few shows that weekend because a lot of people were talking spooky, and they knew we had a crazy story and lived in a crazy, active paranormal home. And so I called in. Now that is still, I'd call it a Class A++ EVP in 2018. But this one, this is crazy, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to disappear while I set it up. So I'm still here. It's just for some reason, I don't know why StreamYard's doing this. It blocks out your picture. So I'm here. Let me see if I can get this going here. Okay, is that the one? I think this is the one. Those are paranormal. No, that's 2018, I think. Hang on. There we go. That's the one I want. So give me a second. I'm talking just so y'all know I'm here. Okay, give me a sec. Let's see if I can make this all full screen. Okay, let me see. We're going to add that. Let's see. Okay, so you guys can see this. It's not so much about seeing as hearing what comes through. So James says, founder of House Sound Paranormal in Vancouver, Canada. Well, welcome. Nice to meet you, fellow Canadian. By the way, y'all, when you're listening, let us know where you're from. Tell us where you're from if you're comfortable with that. I'm going to remind people, if you're listening live and you want to join in the conversation, maybe you've got some spooky stuff to share, pictures, people that know me. I'm easy to find. My name's spelled super strange. It's Lorilei, and then Pot as in Thomas, V as in Victor, IN as in Nancy. You can send me stuff on Messenger because I do it all the time. I'll play it while we're live. It's not a problem at all. So hang on, we're going to play this. And I want you guys, that there are, a lot of people don't like it, but there are subtitles on here. Be on the lookout for something that comes through there. Never been able to find out, is this in reverse, the strange voice that comes through? Is it another language? James says, might be weather systems affecting the streaming service. Okay. Well, I don't think it is, James, because I know you popped in a little bit later, but I do 2 shows here and I do the producing for my shows and many on the network. And this seems like it's something new with StreamYard. I don't know if they've done it. I haven't gone to their town hall meetings. They usually have one on Sunday nights on YouTube for about 45 minutes. So I don't know why. I might have to just pop into StreamYard and find out what they've done. Why this just started about probably about 2 weeks ago, I guess. It goes black while you go off screen to set up screen sharing. So hang on, we're going to play this. So I'll be right. I'm here, but just let me get it going. I'm not going to play the full.
Okay.
Yeah, there it goes again.
My dog doesn't like this noise. Go right down. Go right down, Steve.
It is a song. It's like in a tune.
Like old time Western. About to be a shootout.
Talk to him, Lorilei. See See if you can get him to talk to you.
Talk to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Got to say there, you got a smart aleck that I'm sitting and I'm talking to somebody. Chandra. Got all kinds of funny stuff coming through.
Well, dude,
You got
they told
anything
you
to
to
say
shut
now?
up. I heard it say shut up. Did you not hear that?
I
It
thought I
said
heard
shut
that
up.
too.
It said
That sounds
shut
like a
up.
smart aleck.
Yeah.
That's just that I see you.
I don't know. But I can't wait to listen back to that one.
I just whisper, I see you.
I see you.
Wow, it's weird how the thing gets all of a sudden. It's like goes from like nothing to off the charts loud. Freaky.
DSEST Rejiki Omnia Yelawa. DSEST Rejiki Omnia Yelawa.
What the hell was
Who
that?
said that? Who said that?
Okay, so I'm just stopped it for a sec. So Sandra said, and I'm just disappearing on my screen, not for y'all. So that's good. That's what I was saying. Be on the lookout for that. Nobody has been able to figure out what that is, if that's something that's come through in reverse, or if this is a foreign language. And just to preface this a little bit more, I used to call in from the most active part of my home in the basement. This was my previous home. Now, I think Jason's Skype line, the video part wasn't working at this time. So this is all audio. This was unplanned. And I want you to keep an eye on the guy in the background towards the end of this. It's a little bit longer, but I think it's worthwhile. We're starting spooky season off with a bang here. Because he used to say to me all the time in the chat and stuff, there's no such thing as negative spirits or demons or whatever you want to call it. There's no such thing as those. I've never experienced it, so they don't exist. I want you to watch his face while he tries to shut this down. I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying, I think he had an experience he was not anticipating. Well, nobody was. And I can tell you, many things happened when I would call into Jason's show, because you're going to hear me say something to that effect. It's either this one or the one from 2018. All of Jason's sound equipment has blown when I called into his show. Could that happen? Potentially. There were things, all kinds of, like, it was a standing joke. If something went wrong with the show, oh my gosh, it's Lorilei in the audience. I'm not kidding. Like I said, there was crazy stuff. There are other people that experienced this activity in my previous home. It wasn't just me. My whole family did. There were friends that did. But I'm going to play it for you to kind of start this off. I don't usually play a clip this long, but I think it's worthwhile. So Ice Loco 25, James says, sorry, I want to make sure I have the right name. Sean, I had to remember without scrolling up. Says, I'm from California, so welcome. So it's still early there. It's now 4 p.m. where you are. And Sandra says, joining from Oregon. Good. I don't think I knew what state you were in. So that's kind of cool. Okay, hang on. We're going to continue. So that was the voice, by the way.
I don't know.
Who said that?
No one.
That was from the app.
No,
Never
that was a man.
Yeah.
I know. I
It
don't
was
know
a
what
foreign language, was it?
Yeah. I have no idea what it said.
It has never done that for me.
I don't know what the hell that was.
I've watched your guys' video. I've never heard it come through like that ever.
Okay, so is this the smart Alec that talks to Lorilei?
This
What
is
was
one
that?
of Jason's
I don't know.
co-hosts.
Can you speak again?
Can you say that again?
We got excited.
It took us by surprise and we didn't hear you.
It sounded like a foreign language.
Either that or reverse.
That was freaky.
That's what Chandra said, being backwards.
We got excited and we didn't mean to frighten you off. We want to hear what you have to say. We're sorry that we got excited.
I've never heard it say anything like that.
No.
That was weird.
All the videos I've seen you guys do, I've never seen anything like that come through.
Whatever it is.
It was really loud. I mean, it was, I don't know what it said. It was clear enough to should be able to tell.
I know it's annoying that I'm stopping it, but just I'm not sharing a YouTube video, but just so nobody gets excited because fair use, right? We're stopping, we're discussing this. So the voices that you're hearing in the background are Jamie DeMellos, who is one of Jason's co-hosts, as well as Rob Autry, the other voice, and the gentleman in the background is Bill. I think he's with Pumpkinhead Paranormal. So Jamie is the one that says we got excited. Can you tell us what, basically, can you repeat that, like what's going on? You may catch flashes of people in costumes, because I believe I've had Katrina Cooper and Rhodey speak both together, and Katrina on my show. Katrina's a medium and Rhodey is a paranormal investigator. They were there. There was a whole panel that was on that night. Like I said, this was completely live and unplanned. I don't usually play long clips to repeat myself. And for those just tuning in, this is one of the most active EVPs that were caught. I called into Paranormal Soup with Jason Bland in 2017 for his Halloween show. And yeah, it's worthwhile listening right to the end, because you're going to hear a name in here and you're going to go, what? And if you're not astounded, I don't know how you can't be, because you'll see. So let me start it. Like I say, I may have to stop it a few times just so we stay with the rules of fair use, because we are on YouTube tonight.
Well, except it was like a foreign language. It was really weird.
Almost like a radio cut in.
Hold on a second. It sounded like it's trying to talk.
Yeah. Listen.
There's some in the background really creepy. Real creepy.
It's whispering.
Where are you guys?
Listen, but I can't hear it out.
Where are you?
Can you tell us where you are? Are you here where I am?
What do you see?
I don't know if you can still hear me. Hang on, we'll pause it for a sec here.
Ghost?
Ooh, that's crazy.
Do you see all of us?
Yeah.
Okay, just to stay with the fair use. So this is when it starts getting creepy. And again, this is really creepy. This is all unplanned and live. And apparently the app they were using, I forget what it was, what app, it hadn't done anything all night till I called in. And you can tell by Jason, and Jason's seen his fair share of weird and paranormal and you name it. You can tell by him what he's doing with his arms going, oh. So hang on, we haven't got too much longer, but I thought, you know what? Let's start spooky season off with a bang.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Ghosts?
Okay, time to end the show, guys. Time to go.
That sounds like we're set, guys.
Dude, it's like it's speaking Slytherin to us.
Are we the ghosts?
Yeah.
Jamie is asking you. Can you see us?
Do you want to to do a closing before you shut it
Yeah,
down?
good idea.
Wow.
It's creepy as hell.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, that's Rob dressed up for Halloween. There's not too much longer. It's a 9+ minute video because they talk about it at the end and stuff. So I'm just going to play it to the end because when they try to close this out, you're going to hear somebody's name on the panel here. Hi, Debbie Schmoley. And well, they're not here, Jason and Jamie. We're just starting spooky season off with a bang, and I promote Jason everywhere. Debbie, I think you were there that night. This is from Halloween 2017, and I'm just playing. That's when well, you were there when many of the crazy things happened, calling from the most active part of my basement. And so we're just getting towards the tail end. Apparently, this app, the other night I called in at the last minute. It hadn't done anything all night, so they're not on here. I'm just playing the video, so hang on. And I'm pausing it in between just to stick. It's on Facebook, but just to stick with fair use.
Well, for that, I'll make it official. Let's see, where's my
Say bye, Felicia. You see me say bye, Felicia, because oh.
I have my let's see, where the heck is it at?
I knew you were there, Debbie.
I can find it now.
And the gates of hell were opened by one man named Bill who couldn't figure out how to hit the close down.
Audrey, you were here. I gave you a shout out already. Rob was there that night too. Let's highlight him.
And Terry was saying, "Yeah, I haven't really got much out of this." And now it's
I
like,
gave y'all a
and then
shout out,
Miguel
Rob.
showed
I
up.
take you wherever
And some
I tell
really
this
foreign
story.
guys spoken. Yeah, it's just exactly.
I guess I'll go ahead and shut it down now.
Close out, like say, yeah.
Like count down, say peace out.
Okay, last messages for us before I shut
Stay where
this
you
off.
are.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
And
Last call for alcohol.
thanks for talking with us.
Thanks for creeping everybody out.
Yep.
That's right.
Happy Halloween.
What was that?
I don't know. I
heard the female's voice.
yeah. That was, I don't know what it said.
I
don't know what it said.
Did something just say it wasn't me?
No.
I didn't hear what it said. I heard the female voice, and it took me a second to contemplate that was what I was hearing.
I wasn't expecting it. It's like before.
Okay, I heard it just say my name in a whisper. That ain't cool.
Okay. So any and all spirits here or that came through to talk tonight, you have to go back now. You're not allowed to stay with us. And that's off.
And it's
Bye,
off.
Felicia.
Okay, I'm going to stop it. Okay, I'm coming back here. Hang on, y'all. Yes. So, Rob, I'm shocked you're here. So, Rob, you guys saw him.
I've
now
listened
it's
to you
playing
guys'
again.
videos,
Hang
but
on,
it was
guys.
nothing like that.
Man.
You're like, no way.
There we go. Sorry about that. StreamYard. So Rob was the gentleman you saw with the black hat. He had the bloody bandages very quickly. Well, let me stop sharing this. Hang on. I didn't know he was here. Nice to see you here, Rob. Welcome. And Rob said, yeah, that was a trip that night. It was crazy. And just so you know, because Debbie said, hi, Jason. Hi, Jamie. And I said, Rob and Jamie are co-hosts with Jason. So wherever I go, I don't play these clips, but I definitely, once upon a time ago, I did ask Jason if it was okay. And he said yes, because it gives his show a boost. So wherever I am a guest on shows, I always mention Paranormal Soup, because I think it's a phenomenal show. I think Jason is a phenomenal host. So are the co-hosts, Rob and Jamie. He's got, like I said, I was talking about, if you just tuned in, Rob and Debbie, I know you just did too, about how he has won multiple years in a row. He makes the top 50 podcast list every year. So it's awesome. Check it out. You're going to love it. I know you are. So Debbie says, hang on. Yeah, I was always there back then. So was I. And then, Sandra, that's what I wanted to go back to. She said, it sounds like when Harry Potter was speaking parcel tongue. I know that's what I've said before. Lots of people said, I think we said it afterwards. But the weird part, like, I didn't want to make it too long. I don't usually play long videos like this, but we're taking spooky season to the ultimate here with a big bang. There is another 2018 video that, again, Halloween show from the Spookathon. Jason and I were on the same network. It had some crazy stuff happen too. Not quite as crazy as that one. Like, what do y'all think? Why do you think it said Jason's name? I can tell you in the 2018, it said my partner Dell's name in it. And like I said, I mentioned at the beginning of this, check out Jason's YouTube channel and Facebook as well. But I know on his YouTube channel, when I used to call in every week in the old house, there is some crazy stuff that was going on in the background, because my computer actually was in the most active part of the house. It was really, really, really crazy. So we have had some activity here, and nothing like the previous home, but we've definitely had some activity here. I usually know when we have something, and never mind, always cool stuff on Halloween. You're right, Debbie. Well, plus some EVPs. There's one host in particular. I'm going to give her a shout out. Sometimes she's here in the audience, but if she was, she would have said hi. And that's Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. She is on Fridays here from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Spirit Switchboard. And I played the EVP. I was producing her show, and she had Rob McCallum, who is a stuntman, paranormal investigator, and author. It was Carrie Lynn's 13th show on a Friday. It's a few months back in summer. And just as she asks, Rick, have you ever had an attachment? Actually, I should probably play it. Maybe I will. I'll play it. And like Rob says, yeah, you had some crazy stuff there for sure. Well, remember, Rob, and Debbie will too. There was one night I called in and all Jason's sound equipment blew. And I'm not laughing because that's horrible. I mean, that's a super expensive repair. I remember I felt so bad. It was insane. So nothing like that happened in the previous home. But yeah, we've had some stuff. I usually know when we do, because I have a German Shepherd. And Rob goes, oh yeah, LOL. He remembers about the sound equipment. And then the joke always was, if there was technical problems or something broken or something crazy, is Lorilei in the audience? I remember that. So I usually know, though, if there's crazy stuff here. I have a different dog than I did in the previous home. I lost 2 of my dogs just before I left. We moved out. And my dog goes crazy. And I know she does, because she's not a crazy dog. So I have some pictures of some stuff in behind one of my chairs I picked up. There's a story when we moved in. I'll tell you in a sec, because Debbie says, okay, beautiful ladies and gents, we'll say, I got to figure out what we're having for dinner. Have a great night. So nice to have you here, Debbie. Thanks. I'm going to let you all know too, if you're just tuning in, I'm having a returning animal communicator next Monday on the Angel Rock, Julie Jean Bassett. So if you've got questions, whether your animals are earthside or, in spirit, be sure to tune in next week with 6 to 8 p.m. because she's more than open to be talking about that kind of stuff, because I asked her when I rebooked her. And she's also a shaman. So we're going to talk about, or training to be a shaman. So we're going to talk about some of that activity, or what she's doing. I've got activity on the brain here. Okay, I said I would play. I got to send it to me on Messenger. So give me a sec. I'm in videos. Okay, Carolyn, where are you? And then Carolyn was on my show. Some of you were there, some of you weren't. And I was so distracted. This was probably about a month and a half ago. And I had an EVP happen. Carrie Lynn heard it. The audience heard it. Z Sun Dragon, he's usually here. Kevin, sometimes he pops in if he's working at the end. He heard it. A whole bunch of people were saying they heard this noise. Anyways, I ended the show, and Carrie Lynn's a really gifted medium, intuitive, paranormal investigator, what have you. And she goes, "Who's that guy?" I go, "I know." There was some guy in spirit that was so freaking pushy, and the EVP sounded like a man groaning like twice. And I started to say, before I skipped over to Debbie, as I'm looking for this EVP, between Carrie Lynn and Rick McCallum, just if you don't know who he is, he was the stuntman for Kane Hodder, for Jason Voorhees, for the Friday the 13th series. And it's just so weird when she asks them, "Have you ever had an attachment?" And I happened to be listening because we eventually are supposed to be all producing our own shows. And Carrie Lynn had asked if I would be there. And I thought, oh, I got 2 hours. Okay, I'll listen. I had my phone really close to me, and I was pouring some resin. And all of a sudden, it sounds like somebody's sucking something up through a straw. And I'm going, who the heck's doing that? And I turn around, nobody's drinking anything. I went, oh, wow, EVP. So I'll look for that as I'm talking, and I'll play that for y'all, because that was kind of crazy. Some of you heard it. Now I got to find it as I'm yapping. See, if I got a guest, usually I can get these things loaded. There was one other case I was going to talk about. And like I said, I thought we'd do some crazy stuff because David, for Thursday night show, the thing at the foot of the bed, we're going to be talking about water hauntings and water spirits and things like that. We haven't talked about that yet. That's where we'll start anyways. And just for all you tuning in just now, we're going to be doing major Halloween parties last week of October. So David and I are planning for the 26th of October, Thursday. So we may do a paranormal panel. I think we might. We don't normally have guests, but we might. We are looking for stories, EVPs, experiences, pictures, send them in. Anything spooky, creepy, crazy. Then I'm doing my own party on the 30th on the Angel Rock, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I just found out this weekend the network will be having a paranormal Halloween type party, because I'm the one putting it together. I haven't decided what's going on. I got to obviously talk to Michelle DeRoger, who's our network station manager, and Joe. He'll probably just tell me to do whatever, but just so it'll be in the evening, but we'll just have to figure out how we're going to do that. So you know what I'll do? Hang on. I will do it this way. Let me look up Rick, because I sent it to him and I know, okay, is this it? Yep, this is it. So give me a sec. I'll send it to myself, and then, good. Okay, let me get out of here. That was the quickest and easiest way to do that rather than trying to look for it. Okay, so I guess we're doing EVPs tonight. If you guys want to talk about something else spooky, we still got 40 minutes. Please mention away. I'd be more than happy to talk about it. So if there's something you guys got questions, comments, and experience you want to share, a different topic, let me know. We could talk about it. That's why I love doing shows like this. I don't get to do them very often, so it's nice when I can. This isn't a very long clip, so I'll probably play it a couple times. Okay, hang on. Okay, stop. Okay, stop, because I really clipped it. It's only 12 seconds long. Some of you have heard it already. So let me see where we are here. Come on up. Okay, I'm going to put it in the middle here. Add it to the stage, it says. So hang on. Okay, it's there. It's not really anything to see. So you're going to be listening. Carrie Lynn's going to say, have you had any attachments? And listen really carefully, because it's going to sound like somebody sucking something up with a straw. But it's actually something that happens a little bit before. And then what that evolves into, that noise. I'll play it a few times for you.
Attachments? Are they coming home with you? Have you had attachments?
Yeah.
No. Not a good place to be in. Attachments? Are they coming home with you? Have you had attachments?
Yeah.
No. Not a good place to be in.
One more time.
attachments? Are they coming home with you? Have you had attachments?
Yeah.
Oh. It's
No.
not a good place to be in.
Let me close that. Then we'll remove this. So I don't know if you heard this or you're hearing on the replay. So when Carolyn says, "Do you have any attachments?" It sounds like a man going, "Oh," and then it sounds almost like, well, there's other things, but it's not radio friendly to say. But other people have told me it sounds like a certain device that people use when they imbibe in, we'll call it the devil's lettuce. And then it almost sounds like it evolves into a growl at the end of it. And the interesting thing is, Carrie Lynn and Rick did not hear this. I heard it having my headphones in. So and you don't need headphones to hear it. That's how loud it was. So how weird is that, right? That's an interesting thing about spirit communication, though, right? Some people, like I said, same as when, and it was so interesting. Carrie Lynn and I, now we always joke and say, what are we, the EVP queens when we get together in EVPs? Because this is the second time this has happened when the two of us, it was her show the first time, then my show. And then, like I said, whoever this guy was, I have never, ever, it was literally, if you're a parent or you've been around young children, and you're on the phone and there's a group of kids and they're constantly bugging you, like it's like, oh good, mom's on the phone or so-and-so's on the phone, now's the time to talk, now's the time to ask them to play, do you want to play with me, I'm bored, I'm hungry, I'm like, that's literally like what it was. Y'all wouldn't have heard that in the audience, but I could hear it in the mind's eye. And obviously I wasn't crazy, because I mean, we didn't even say, yeah, fun show. Like, literally, Carolyn said, who the heck was that guy? So he wasn't around here. I think he was just kind of a drop-in. I know what I started to say to you guys before I said bye to Debbie too. One of the experiences we've had in this house when we first moved in that was really weird. Now, our dog that we have now, Emmy, she's a black German Shepherd, and she was a puppy. She was about 6 months old, and she had this favorite toy. It was about, for those listening, probably about 12 inches high, and it was extremely floppy. It had long legs. There's no way on God's green earth this thing could stand up. Okay, no way. So my partner Dell and I were putting something together. I think it was a bookshelf. We had just moved in, and the toy was lying on its side in the hallway, because my dog is a toyaholic and loves them. And all of a sudden, I swear to God to you, this thing stood up, took 2 steps, and flopped over. And Dell, even after everything we've been through, is the biggest skeptic. And he said to me when it happened, "Did you just see?" I said, "Emmy's toy stand up and take 2 steps." He goes, "Yep." And I go, "Uh-huh." So we've had like things like that, but nothing like the previous home. Like, there were physical injuries. Like, Dell was thrown 15 feet across the kitchen. Like, there was a lot of crazy stuff. So this is a little bit better. Not that you want it in any way, but I'll take that over what we had. Now, there's a case I've been following on TikTok. At first, I wasn't too sure about this, but I got to tell you, I'm really careful to call anything fake, like that somebody's faking it or that it's fake, because I've had it done to me, and it's not good. It's obviously, I mean, I just about had the whole rug ripped out from beneath me by somebody that because I was constantly looking for help before it kind of evolved into where I am now. And it was a guest on a show. They were okay with me giving them a call the next day. And I've talked about on this show before. They knew very little about our story. They knew very little. They hadn't seen the pictures, videos, anything like that. And they didn't know I was a nurse. And they kept telling me I was imagining all this. I was faking it. I was the one causing all this stuff. And then they proceeded. And I'm sorry for the person that did this, but I am now taking this. One of these days, I'm going to make a t-shirt. I'm going to draw something with this. they diagnosed me with intergalactic satellite goldfish. Now, I don't know about all of you, but I've never heard of a diagnosis like that. I know it's not in the DSM-5 for psychological things. So what I ended up doing was just saying, you know what? And they were very insulting to me. They wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise. So all I said to them was, you know what? Thank you very much for your time. I think I'm going to go now. And I hung up. Now, would I have loved to have gone and told everybody in that community that I had first encountered this individual with what had happened and say, share my story? And I thought, no, this is between the two of us. Well, that's not what happened to me. They went behind my back and told everybody that I knew, all my support people I'd met in the community, that I was faking all this and lying and I'm a psycho. And so, long story short, that's why I don't like to do that to people. Because unless I'm in their home and I witness it for myself and I can say, yeah, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're faking it, I don't like to do that to people because I know what it feels like. So this couple, I think I might have mentioned them before. They are under the name of, I think it's Merlin's, no, something magician. We'll see it in a sec. I'm going to find it. I know I sent myself it. Where is it? Okay, let's see. Is it that? No, that's the EVP. Give me a sec, guys. I'm going to find it here for you because this is a crazy story. And from what I can see, somebody else was updating them this story on TikTok. And I think they pretty well figured out that this activity is coming from, I think I found it. This activity is coming from the rocking chair. Yeah, here it is. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, so this is the couple. This is not their channel, though. This is the guy reporting on they're called Magical Poltergeist. That's the channel it's called. Hang on. I would love to hear your thoughts on this because this is insane what is going on in this house. And she's pregnant. And these guys I know were messing with the Ouija board, knowing nothing about it. Like I always say, you've heard me say Ouija boards are just tools, but you got to have somebody show you how to use it. So hang on. Let me see if I got it up there. I want to make sure it's going to play. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to start playing it. And then what I'll do is I'll make it bigger so you can.
Had just finished making dinner and were heading towards the living room to eat their meal.
Oh, they're not going to let
the couple sit close to each other while watching their favorite TV program.
No.
As minutes pass, it appears that nothing strange is happening in this footage. But fast forward to just a few more seconds, and something happens that scares the living daylights out of the couple. Prior to this incident, George and his wife had been experiencing strange occurrences inside their house. Before having to document any of these occurrences, they would often wake up in the dead of night and hear faint whispering coming from somewhere inside the house. But creepiest of all is when the couple would see household items move on their own. Over time, the activity has become so intense that the couple has asked for help from those who specialize in the paranormal.
I'm glad
it is
to hear
recommended
this.
that they set up cameras around their home to capture evidence of the so-called paranormal activity, so the couple act accordingly. Weirdly enough, they were also told to get rid of a certain item inside their house. George and his wife own an old rocking chair, and apparently this chair is the source behind all the activity. So the couple does exactly that by selling it. And surprisingly, a buyer has taken an interest in purchasing the chair. The couple holds onto the chair until the buyer comes over to pick it up sometime next week. But in the meantime, something very strange is captured on their cameras. No one is home when this is captured.
Takes a minute. And sorry, I can't make it any bigger, guys. It won't let me make it bigger. Watch the rocking chair. Remember, nobody's home. Rocking chair is still going.
Eerily, the chair begins to rock back and forth before somehow other objects inside the house move on their own. Although terrified by what was captured, the couple is glad they had caught this. They can now show this video to those who've doubted.
Just let me close this for a sec here. I don't know why this wouldn't let me make it bigger for you guys, because usually I can make it bigger on YouTube. I mean on Facebook. You just can't see them. Well, check it out, Rob, because it's called what did I call it? God, I can't remember. I forget what it is. I'm going to pull up another video because, okay, so it's kind of hard to see because I couldn't make it bigger. But some of the stuff I have seen on this channel is pretty freaking, guess the spirits like to rock that chair in that chair. Yeah, I think he calls it the Lucifer chair, because I went back to his channel tonight. The weird thing is she's pregnant. Now, when you start watching stuff, because they do have cameras all over, when they're in their bedroom, and some of the crap that's been happening, either these guys are Academy Award winning actors or there's something really creepy going on. I know there's one video where it looks like there's a spirit while she's home. A lot of stuff happens while she's home, the wife, and she is freaking out, like calling the husband to come now. But the other weird thing, and it kind of troubles me because she's pregnant and pretty pregnant. And this isn't the first time I've seen something like this. This woman looks like she gets possessed by whatever is in that home. And this isn't the first time. Like, there's one video, they've got a YouTube channel under the same name. I think it's called I thought I'd remember, Magical Poltergeist. It's the same name on YouTube, so you can see full videos. And he finds his wife, she's screaming bloody murder, and he's in a sound sleep. He didn't feel her. He said they're both pretty heavy sleepers. I have seen, that table that moved in this video, it flips and flips and flips and then lands back upright and in another room. Anyways, she actually woke up, doesn't remember any of it, and ended up going all through the kitchen, all over the place. Basically, I believe it was in the backyard, and sitting out there for hours, and then starts screaming bloody murder. And he goes and grabs her. There's another video like this. Plus, I'm going to give a shout out to my favorite guys on YouTube. They're my boys. I love them. I don't know them. That's not what I'm saying. I love them. They're one of my favorite channels. And it's called Paranormal Nightmare with the Foreman Brothers. And the reason why I have so much respect for these guys is they don't charge people. I was just watching a live recently for members on YouTube. They won't even take gas money. They've been doing this for 14 years. I know they do have a TV channel, and they're brothers, and they go and they help families with residential hauntings. Now, they're in the United States, and they've had some pretty crazy cases and stuff. Now, imagine what we don't see. A lot of times, though, what they'll do, they put a new preview or new video out, usually every Friday night. And then Saturday nights, usually they stream live for a couple hours, and they show you what they're filming as they're setting up, and they talk about things. A lot of stuff gets caught too, spur of the moment while they're live, right? Because they're in an active home. So it's crazy. So hang on. I do want to play another one of this. Why can I Magical Poltergeist? I don't know. I can never remember this channel's name. Okay, this is one of the incidents. It looks like it might have been happening sort of newer in the last week or two, because she looks much more pregnant. It's one of the newer TikTok videos. And his wife doesn't remember any of this again. Hang on, I'm going to pause it. I don't know why this thing won't let me. Why this thing will not let me make it bigger. Let me try it and see. Well, makes it bigger, but not a heck of a lot bigger. Hang on, I'll add it to the screen. Okay, you ready? There you go. I think it's on there. So it just says, this is the scariest, what I've ever seen. She doesn't remember a thing. I don't know. Yeah, it won't let me make it bigger, guys. Watch her. Okay, because she's going to get up from that chair. She's rocking in what he calls the Lucifer rocking chair. I was expecting a jump scare. It's not jump scare. And I understand it's hard to see. So if you guys can check them out, but this, and I'm going to, you look almost like, could have been a bug, could have been dust. I don't know what it is, but just the way she's acting, it was pretty strange what we saw sort of in the corner there. That sort of popped in frame for a moment. And she's just standing there. I'm sure the full video will show how this was resolved or what on YouTube. But this has happened multiple times to his wife. There's one video. Hang on. Let me unadd it, remove. Okay, there's one video in particular. This has happened. I just want to turn it off. There's one video in particular where she is sound asleep on the couch. And because there's cameras everywhere where the rocking chair is, she sits up all of a sudden. It's a broad daylight. Her husband's at work and she starts coughing and coughing and gagging. At first, I couldn't understand what she was doing. And then she calls her husband at work and she says, "You need to come home. It literally smells like death, like rotten eggs. Like it's so bad, I'm practically choking." And then activity starts and she starts to yell and scream because she is freaked out, as most people would be. And she's screaming for him to come home from work. So if this stuff is all fake, these two are amazing actors and they should be acting in Hollywood. So, and I certainly can tell you, I know that smell because I have smelt that smell. Just, it is the most revolting smell you've ever smelt. And then as quickly as it appears, it's gone. Thankfully, previous home. So, like I said, check it out, see what you think. We may talk about it a little bit on Thursday night with Dave. So Dave's permission, he sent me this video. We're going to pivot a little bit to this. It's certainly interesting. Like I said, we're going to talk about water hauntings and stuff like that on Thursday night. But this video, it's creepy. I'm going to warn you, it's creepy. So hang on. Sorry, give me a sec here while I set it up. Okay, let's make it as big as I can. So David sent this to me, and then we're going to look into a little bit of the native lore behind this. Like I said, we have so much, like I said, in the way of paranormal where I live in Thunder Bay, like UFOs, ETs. I've caught some videos that Dave and I have shown on the thing at the foot of the bed that look like potential UAP or UFO. I guess you can decide. Cryptids, tons and tons of stories of cryptids of every kind you can think of. Cryptids, I should say. Paranormal activity. My first video on TikTok, I was trying it out, and somebody sent me pictures of this. Somebody's dozen eggs caught on fire in their fridge. This person was in their mid-70s, not looking for the paranormal. The fridge did not short out, and I made a video of the pictures they sent me, and they were having all kinds of crazy activity. And I'm telling you, we are not unique. There are all kinds of crazy, crazy, crazy story. Now, is it, there's a lot going on. We have the sleeping giant or the legend. It's either of Nanabiju or Gitchigumi. It's by two names. It's about 10 minutes away from my house, maybe between 5 and 10 minutes on Lake Superior. And it looks like a giant lying in the middle of the lake. It's a mountain. Then on the south side, that's on the north side. On the south side of the city, we have Kakabeka Falls, which is called the Little Niagara of the North. And there is First Nations legend between Kakabeka Falls and the legend of Gitchigumi. And is that what it is? I don't know. Okay, Kelly, before I play this video, okay, let's talk about this. So Kelly has a question. Hey, Lorilei, got a question for you. I had a dream of a 4-leaf clover with a huge sum of money floating down in it. I was wondering if I could get some insight from you or spirit on this. First thing I'm going to tell you, honey, the one person who knows what dreams mean the most, and I'm sure you will verify this for me as well when you do some research too, is basically dream interpretation is best interpreted by the person who had the dream. And the reason I say that is look up dream interpretation. I guarantee you none of them match. Now, whether somebody has received that from spirit, from studying, psychoanalysis, whatever it could be, right? So some of the things I suggest, you know all this already anyways, Kelly, but keeping a dream journal by your bed. I do the same. I have like books over here. I've got paper books. I had a crazy dream last night with a message from Spirit that was really interesting, and we'll see what evolves from it. But with a 4-leaf clover, let me fill into this for a sec. Here's some of money floating down in it. Okay, I'm just going to give you what I'm getting. I'm getting that you've been working on yourself a lot, doing a lot of self-improvement, working on emotions, working on healing. That's okay. I figured it out, Kelly. She says, so on it. Sorry. You've been working on healing. You guys have moved to a new province. You're in a new space. I think you are open to the possibilities of increased financial abundance, increased Spirit just gave me wealth. Now, wealth can mean a variety of things. It's not always monetary, right? So that's what I believe it means. So keeping your eyes open. I know it seems kind of, I'm not giving you a big answer here. The reason why is I didn't quite get into the mood here or spirit of answering anything from Spirit. Can I? Yes. Let me pull a card for you anyways, because I wasn't I keep hearing wealth. Like, no, not that you're going to win the lottery. Like, this isn't necessarily monetary, but it's kind of keep doing what you're doing, but be open to the possibilities. Pay attention to the signs and symbols around you. And Spirit wants you to take a real close look at what does a 4-leaf clover mean to you? What does it signify for you? Most of us some people can find 4-leaf clovers very easily. My soon-to-be son-in-law is like that. He could be in a whole field and he'll find 10 of them. Other people consider them very rare, very unique. So, what does it mean to you? And I keep feeling that the money is symbolic of, yes, it could mean wealth, okay, or a new opportunity. But where I'm going with wealth is not always monetary. So good things coming into your life, being open to the possibilities. Also, so I'm hearing for Spirit too, to be very open. That's why they said pay attention to the signs and symbols. Be very open to where you might potentially see a 4-leaf clover. Okay? I don't know if they're actually showing me almost like you'll be walking down the street somewhere or shopping or whatever, and you may see a clover, like whether it's in some 4-leaf clover, whether it's in somebody's logo, maybe a sign up or whatever. Take that as a sign when you see it, and pop in there. Go talk to the owner, whomever's there working, because this represents opportunities for you. I'm going to, let's see, what do we got here? Well, that's what they want me to pull, I guess. I was looking for the abundance deck, but they gave me life purpose. And again, I apologize. You've seen them before. Interesting. Like I said, I wasn't even realizing I was going to be doing a reading, so it took me a minute as I was rambling there. But that's what I keep seeing, opportunities and potentialities, but also to continue on the path of what you're doing. But yeah, I keep hearing from Spirit, pay attention to the signs and symbols around you. It's almost like they're telling me it's like a roadmap, if you will, but it's all up to you. So you could go much further with what you've been either anticipating, working on, thinking about, or planning. And it's almost like that's a roadmap. So keep your eyes open for a 4-leaf clover sign. Let me know what happens. I have no idea why, Kelly. Spirit is giving me right now. If y'all haven't seen this picture, you may not even see it, but Kelly had this door, and it looked like, because she has paranormal activity and stuff, and I believe you were working on clearing it, weren't you, Kelly? And it looks like the spirit was almost trapped in the door. Like you can almost see handprints and the face of it. It was so weird. I don't know why Spirit just gave me that. It did. Really weird. And I just heard release what no longer serves you. So anything stagnant no longer serves you. Let it go. I'm not a singer, so you'll never hear me sing on air here. Taylor Swift. Okay, Interesting. So it is new opportunities. So I pulled from the life purpose deck, and Kelly says, greatest memory, perhaps. I don't know. So when I pulled, I shuffled. It says career change. You're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance you desire and deserve. Now, if that is not perfect with what you just shared with your dream, I don't know what is, girl. So pay attention. This one's showing you a lighthouse shining in the middle of, with a little house in the middle of BF nowhere. But I'm still going to say pay attention for the four-leaf clover. I think that's significant. And it's not that rare. Like a lot of people use them in logos and stuff. So be aware of it. So I hope that helps you. If anybody else wants a reading too, now that we're in reading mode, I'm happy to do that. Like I say, I love doing shows like this because we've only got about 5 minutes left. So if you guys are enjoying the paranormal, make sure you stay tuned for the show right after me with Julia and Phil Syracuse, who are friends of mine and fellow hosts on the network here with the Horsefly Chronicles. They always have great guests and great conversation. So be sure to check that out for sure, for sure. It's either that, I'll wait and see if anybody types anything. But what I'll do, kind of to segue into what's coming on the thing at the foot of the bed. And as you all know, we just start with a topic because we like to pivot, kind of like what like I talked a lot tonight and played video. Usually we have a little bit more interaction if we do. If not, just go with the flow. And that's what Dave and I do. But he had brought up this idea and I thought, do you want to talk about this Thursday night? And he said, yeah, because he sent me some interesting videos. And then I thought, like I asked him, I said, do you want to talk about it Thursday night? Because I won't talk about it tonight. And he goes, no, talk about it tonight. Talk about it tonight. We'll segue into this. This Pisces would love a reading. We got to go quick, my friend, Sean, because we got about 4 minutes. I'm going to play this video quickly, and then you can ask me a question. I will do it quickly. This isn't too long. It's a minute long. So let me share it, and then we'll still have time. So feel free to give me a question here quickly, because I will do readings too, you guys. If we got a open agenda here, I'm happy to do readings too. Okay, so this is it. Pretty creepy, but this is going to segue into what we're doing Thursday night.
We were thrown into this Nevada lake at birth, and now we haunt the waters. Hello, our name is Urban. We're the Pyramid Lake Babies. Hundreds of years ago, the Paiute tribe lived around this lake in Nevada. And they were a very physically strong tribe, and were willing to do anything to keep it that way. So whenever a malformed or premature baby was born, they would throw us into Pyramid Lake in order to keep the future of their tribe strong. But these actions caused this lake to forever be cursed, and is now haunted by those of us who were thrown in at birth. We feel as we were robbed of our lives, and we are angry. So now we will cry at night, as loud as we can, trying our best to lure victims to the water to take our revenge. So if you are in the area, and you hear us, don't try to help unless you're okay with your spirit being trapped in this lake with us forever. We only do this because...
And they didn't tell us why. So that leaves us with segueing into Thursday night. So Kelly says about the reading I just gave her. First, the dream about owning a store, and now four-leaf clover. Shaking my head, I am excited. Think it's definitely a sign. There you go. And you got a card. So Ice Loco. Now, you don't know how I do readings. I very rarely read the future, because I believe in alternative timelines, alternative dimensions. It sounds like excuses, but it's not, because you are the master of your own destiny, as are each and every one of us. And because of free will, just like we talked at the beginning of the show, and I know you shared about this, life can change in a second and on a dime. Will you get a job? And this is going to sound really lame, but I'm hearing from Spirit, if you want a new job, you shall have it. So what are you doing to manifest that job? What are you doing to make it happen, right? So look at the pros and cons I'm hearing. Get proactive about it if you like. don't, this sounds really cliche. I'm just repeating what Spirit's sharing with me. Don't be afraid to reach for the stars. And if you don't hit them, there's always the moon. And what Spirit's telling me, what that means is reach out for the dreams that you've had in mind about a career, something that's going to excite you, something that you've always wanted to do, but thought maybe you weren't qualified. There's no way they'd hire you, whatever. Go for it. Go for it. Try it. See if it works out. And if it doesn't, there's always a reason why something doesn't work out. But go, because I keep feeling like this is about going in a new direction. Yeah, I'm hearing kind of stagnant where you are. Maybe you're not even working, but stagnant. So going even in a direction where you've maybe always wanted to go, but we're worried maybe you're not going to make enough money with this. Nobody will. I keep hearing there's thoughts of, well, why would they hire me? I've never worked in this field. I don't have the experience, blah, blah, blah. But go for it. Okay. And if you want a new job, I'm also hearing a yes, you will get a new job. But create what you want to happen. Believe in yourself, even if you don't. That's why they gave me that cliche, and Spirit doesn't usually give me cliches. What do we got left here? Got 1 minute left. Quickly. Where's my, excuse me, as I'm choking. It's in behind here. So we are going to use the same deck, unfortunately, because if I'd known we were doing readings, y'all, I would have had, I've said y'all a million times today. I'm not even from the South. I'm Canadian. I could have said A. I would have had my decks all out for you. I don't need decks. It's just when we do quick readings like this, sometimes it helps me tune in. So I'm going to say yes. And feel free to go back to the recording of this and take a look at it again. But I feel you will. But again, it's up to you. Okay, let's see what we got here. It's always unexpected, LOL. Not really. Sometimes I will pull out my decks. This is interesting. Very interesting. So the card I pulled for you, and sometimes when you ask a question, it doesn't always pertain to what you're looking for an answer for, but I'm just going to give it to you because it's not for me. The card that came out, I have never pulled this card from this deck. Flowers. Working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. What I'm getting, this is more about you opening up like a flower, if you will. And I'm not calling you a flower, but what I'm saying, the action of it, blossoming, coming into your own, believing in yourself. Because this is what I keep feeling this is about. Going in a different direction. Because when we love what we do, we never put in a day of work. When you wake up and you're excited and you're able to provide for yourself financially, but you love what you do, this is what this is about. Also getting out into nature. I hear Spirit say, get into nature. There's some healing work to do there, as well as really working on some grounding. I wish I had more time. I would go on and on. And Sean says, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. I appreciate all of you. So please stay tuned for the Horsefly Chronicles with Julia and Phil Syracuse next. Also, if you ever want to get a hold of me, you got a show idea, guest suggestion, you want to book a reading. I also do energy healing work with Crystal Reiki, therapeutic touch, distance-wise. So it's a misnomer. We work with your aura. I also do mentoring and teaching. You can get a hold of me at facebook.com/The Angel Rock. I have 2 groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal, and the Angel Rock Tribe for many of the spiritual things. We didn't talk too spiritual tonight. We were bringing in the spooky season with a bang, so please stay tuned. Thursday, because that's when I'm going to see you next with my bestie, love him, David Hansel, and it's with the thing at the foot of the bed at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got a little taste of the haunted little spirits there in the water. We're going to talk about that, maybe some of the native history and culture behind why we may see the things that we see. All right. I love you all. Thank you, Kelly says, Arlie, you're amazing. Keep up the beautiful work. Well, right back at you. I love you all. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Sending you all so much love and light. We'll see you on Thursday and next Monday. Come with your pet questions, Earthside, or if you even need mediumship, okay? Because Julie Jean Bassett's going to be back here on the Angel Rock. Okay? See you on Thursday.